this topic on magic squares will be dealt with in 2 lectures. So, today we know that there is a lot of research that is going on recreational mathematics. So, this actually forms a very interesting candidate, so to be presented to students, so in order that they cherish what they do, particularly in the field of arithmetic. So, the topics that I would like to cover, so in this part of the lecture is classification of magic squares. So, as it is done in the Indian text. So, and I will briefly discuss the purpose which has been stated by Narayana Pandita. So, as to why one needs to study the magic square, and we will take a couple of examples of magic squares from very ancient texts. For instance, in Nagarjuna's work, so it is actually referred to as Kachaputta. So, the term Kacha in Sanskrit refers to tortoise. The shell of the tortoise will have some kind of a hexagonal kind of a type. So, maybe so the magic square, the numbers are represented in various cells, so which resemble that, and perhaps it is why it is called Kachaputta. And we will also see an interesting magic square which has been presented by Varahamihira, and it is Sarvato Bhadra. So, Bhadra is the name of magic squares. So, in fact, the mathematics of magic square is called Bhadra Ganitam. Okay. So, then we will discuss the horse motion method, horse move, Turaga Gati. See. So, Turaga, Turanga, Turangama, so all the 3 words refer to horse in Sanskrit. So, Turaga Gati method of obtaining magic squares. In fact, Narayana Pandita discusses this at great length at the beginning of his chapter on Bhadra Ganita, and then he moves on to various other ways of constructing magic squares. And so, we will start with 4 by 4 magic square, which is actually called Samagarbha, and PD here refers to pan diagonal. So, we will quickly see what pan diagonal means and how many pan diagonal magic squares can be constructed. So, this is an interesting question which has been posed by Narayan Pandita in his Ganita Kaumudi, and he also gives an answer. So, that is 384, we will see how it is, and we will also discuss the ancient Indian method of constructing odd squares. So, then the relation between Kuttaka and magic squares, then we will see some of the properties of 4 by 4 magic squares, and then we will see how from these property one can construct magic squares elegantly. So, this is how we will progress. As I was mentioning, magic squares is a very interesting topic. So, particularly children will definitely enjoy, and unfortunately it is not something which is a part of the current curriculum. So, it seems a lot of things can be done. So, from what one sees. So, at great length Narayana Pandita discusses. In fact, this chapter contains 75 plus verses. So, one complete chapter has been devoted by Narayana Pandita. So, the term Bhadra in Sanskrit means an all round well-being, prosperity kind of a thing. Magic square, perhaps, I mean there are certain magic squares which one will find in temples and various inscriptions, and so it is something like yantra perhaps. The yantra, you will have some aksharas inscribed in that. So, in magic squares you have some numbers inscribed in that. So, maybe it had that kind of a significance, one does not know. So, and that could be the cause for calling it a Bhadra Ganita, or it could be Bhadra Ganita. So, in order to protect oneself, as Narayana says, so among mathematicians you can pose this question, and if he is not able to answer, you save yourself. So, anyway, so that could be the Bhadra Ganita. So, a detailed exposition of mathematics of magic square, so our classification and so on, a method to construct, so is all found only in 13th 14th century texts. So, the earliest text is one of Takkara Peru, it is called Ganitasara Kaumudi, and then Narayana Pandita's work is called Ganita Kaumudi. In fact, somebody was asking me some time ago, so what does this word Kaumudi mean? Kaumudi normally refers to a text, so which deals with grammar, but in fact the word Kaumudi actually means moon's light. Okay, Ganita Kaumudi, the text actually means it is a moonlight. So, mathematics, the moon, mathematics in the form of moonlight perhaps. So that is how the name Ganita.
Grammar Kaumudis all came after the Ganita Kaumudi of
yeah. So Ganita Kaumudi, in fact, the term, so Kaumudi refers to moonlight, and the Siddhanta Kaumudi, so these texts came much later, and this Kaumudi is a general term which is added to a certain text which is presented so lucidly, kind of a thing. Okay, so it is quite difficult to understand, so the original text of Panini, and therefore this Kaumudi, so the grammar presented in the form of a moonlight, so that is how it is. So before proceeding further, I would just like to introduce you certain terminologies. So this magic square, so can be broadly divided into semi magic, magic and pan diagonal. So semi magic, so wherein only rows and columns sum up to a given number, so not even diagonal. So if the diagonals also, the main diagonals, okay, also sum up, it is a magic square. And pan diagonal, so is something wherein not only the main diagonals but even the other diagonals sum up to the given number. So for instance, you just take this example. So here if you look at this, so 6 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8. So once you come across, you have to move here, so that does not sum up to 34. So this is basically a magic square wherein, so all the rows and columns and the main diagonals, so they will sum up to 34, but the span diagonals will not sum up to 34. But again the same elements actually fill up this magic square. So this is a pan diagonal magic square wherein you can see that 13 plus 16 plus 4 plus 1, it is 34, or you can take 14 plus 12 plus 5 plus 3 is 34, or 10 plus 6 plus 7 plus 11. So all of them sum to 34. This is what is called a pan diagonal magic square. Indians have actually specialized in constructing pan diagonal magic squares, and as you will see, Narayana Pandita presents various methods by which one can obtain pan diagonal magic squares. So in the text of Takkaraperu as well as of Narayana Pandita, what one finds is the same kind of a classification. So Samagarbha, Vishamagarbha and Vishama. So these are the names which are given. So Samagarbha actually refers to a magic square, so n by n magic square, so it is of the type 4m. So m is an integer, so it can be 4, 8 and so on, divisible by 4 primarily. And this is Vishamagarbha, so this is also Sama, but 4m plus 2 even, and n is Vishama, any odd, it could be 4n plus 1, 4n plus 3. So the magic squares which have been presented by Takkaraperu in his Ganitasara Kaumudi are of non-pan diagonal nature, whereas the one presented by Narayana is pan diagonal, and he actually gives a examples of few magic squares. So wherein n is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6, all of them have been given by him, and one will start with, so 3 by 3 square, one goes from 1 to n square, so all the 1 to 9 they will fill up that, and then you will get a magic square. So there the sum will be 15, and if you have a 16, 1 to 16, then the sum will be 34, and then 65 and so on. So the sum will be, so magic sum will be n into n square plus 1 by 2. So Narayana actually gives a certain procedure wherein one need not consider this element, so 1 to 16 to construct a 4 by 4, you can give any number and you will be able to construct a magic square which is pan diagonal in nature. So it is a kind of systematic procedure which has been presented by Narayana. So before I proceed further, so I wanted to quote a couple of verses, so which have been stated by Narayana right at the beginning of the chapter. So he says, so Sadganita Chamatkritaye Yantravidam Pritaye Kuganakanam Garvakshiptyai Vakshye Tatsaram Bhadraganitakyam. So he has clearly stated out 3 reasons. One is Sadganita Chamatkritaye, if you are a good mathematician, so then you will enjoy. So Chamatkriti, or you can excel in a certain forum by knowing this technique. So Chamatkritiye Yantravidam Pritaye, the various kinds of permutations and combinations, the various ways of arranging things etc. can be known, and therefore Preeti, they will be pleased to knowing these techniques. And he also says Kuganakanam Garvakshiptyai. So Garvakshipti means, so in order to knock off the arrogance of Kuganakas, so this will be useful. Vakshe Tatsaram. So Samagarbha Vishama Garbhe Vishamancheti Tritha Bhaved Bhadram. Then Bhadranke Chaturapte. See, one thing which is very interesting about Narayana is he presents everything so systematically. So at the beginning of the chapter, so he presents the whole summary and whatever that is required in order to understand. So he says Bhadranke Chaturapte Niragrake Tadbhavecha Samagarbham. So this is the definition of Samagarbha. Chaturapta means when it is divided by 4. So when it is divisible by 4, you call it as Samagarbha. Divyagre. So by this time most of you should be familiar with the word Agra. Agra is remainder. Divyagre, if 2 happens to be the remainder when you divide by 4, so then it is called Vishamagarbha. If 3 or 1, 3 ekagre kevalam Vishamam, you call it Vishama. Fine. Then Sarvesham Bhadranam Shredhi Ritya Bhaved Ganitam. So this is an interesting statement, and as you will see, so he says, so all the magic squares, so that you will be discussing. So the fundamental thing which will be you made use of is a certain arithmetic progression. So this arithmetic progression is referred to as Shredhi. Shredhi is a sort of step, see, so it increases by d, so that is why it is called Shredhi Ganitam. So he says Shredhi Ritya Bhaved Ganitam, you make use of a certain arithmetic progression and then you do the magic square. So therefore he says Yesham Ganitam Abhishtam, those who are interested so in doing this magic squares, so Sadhyau Tesham Mukha Prachayau, if you have to construct a magic square, you have to first of all find out A. See, given a certain number yes, so the magic sum has to be yes. So for that you have to find a certain appropriate arithmetic progression, placing which into the square you will be able to get the magic square. So therefore he says Sadhyau Tesham Mukha Prachayau. Mukha is the first term, Prachaya is the common difference, okay, by which it increases. So Yadyavanti Grihani Shredhi Vishaye Bhaved Gachaha. See, Yadyavanti Grihani, see the term Griha when it is used here refers to the cell in a magic square. When you draw that, okay, so that particular cell is called Griha. So in a 4 by 4 magic square you will have 16 Grihas, okay. So Grihani Shredhi Vishaye Bhaved Gachaha. So that is termed as Gacha. Gacha, so if you recall in Aryabhati also, it refers to the number of terms in a sequence. Gachaha means the number of terms in a sequence, arithmetic sequence which you have to deal with. So Bhadre Kritigata Koshthe Tanmulam Jayate Charanaha. So Gachasya Moolam Charanaha Jayate means, so if you have 4 by 4 magic square, so the number of elements will be 16, so root of that will be the number of rows or number of columns. So that is called Charana. Charana is basically a row. So then he says Iha Narayana Vihita Paribhasha Bhadraganita. In fact, so in Kaumudi we have the first prakarana is called Paribhasha Prakarana. This is all that is required, terminologies have been clearly stated now. Now let us get into the magic square. So in order to understand the popularity of magic square, so in fact what one notes is the famous mathematician Ramanujam. So in his notebook he starts with so magic squares, okay, and we will be referring to Professor Vijay Raghavan. He has worked out some very interesting properties, so which we will be discussing little later. So he in his article on Jaina magic squares in 1941 he notes, the author of this note learnt by heart at the age of 9 the following pan-diagonal square, which was taught to him by an elderly person who had not been to school at all. In fact, some of these interesting mathematics, so based on this Leelavati and this kind of problems, I remember when I was I think in primary school or so, some old man came, so and then he was quoting some problems. So later now when I study this Indian mathematics I realize, so the kind of problems that he was giving was sort of based on this Leelavati. So it has been sort of available, so the construction of magic squares also, so many people know. So he says by a person who had not been to school at all, okay. So it has been a part of tradition as a recreational tool, so magic squares has been there. this Kachaputa of Nagarjuna, so there is a very interesting mnemonic. So you see, look at this, Arka Indu Nidha Nari Tena Lagna Vinasanam, there is a typo here, Arka Indu Nidha Nari Tena Lagna Vinasanam. Now I would like you to recall the Katapayadi system which we discussed. So now if you look at every syllable here and then try to translate it into this form of a magic square, you will see that A refers to 0, Ka refers to 1, E refers to 0. In Katapayadi system all vowels refer to 0 and Nya and Na also refer to 0. So therefore if you see here, so Na, so Indu, so Da refers to 8, Ni, Dha, Na, Ri, Ra is 2 and then Tena Lagna, Tena Lagna, see Vi, Na, Sa, Nam. So this mnemonic, I mean what is the significance of this mnemonic? See the point is, so see here in this magic square you see a certain cells have been filled with 0 and certain cells are, in fact it is exactly 8 cells are 0, 8 cells are filled with numbers. And these cells which have been filled with 0, so can be filled with n minus, see for instance if you look at here, so this cell is 0, so I 6 is here and I put a n minus 6 here, and you find 0 here, I put a n minus 2 here, so since 2 is there, so if you sort of fill it in this way you will see that, so this actually turns out to be a pan-diagonal magic square whose sum is 2n. So that way they have created a very interesting mnemonic by which whatever be the number that you want to get, so you will be able to construct a magic square. So once you remember this mnemonic, that is all, see that is one thing. So here if you want to get the sum as 2n plus 1, so then all that you need to do is, so instead of n minus 8 you have to have n minus 7, so appropriately filling this, so you will be able to construct a magic square provided you know this mnemonic in your mind, that is all. Pardon?
X is the alternate element. X.
Yeah, so alternate element in the sense, see you see here, see n minus 2 and 2, that is why I have put, so 6 and n minus 6, so that is why I have, so n minus 3 and 3, so diagonally, okay. So this magic square whose sum is 100 is also to just convey you the kind of antiquity. So we just have this, it is called Nagarjuniya, associated with Nagarjuna. So now I move on to the magic square which has been presented by Varahamihira in a different context. See, Varahamihira does not discuss Bhadraganita per se, but in the context of see Varahamihira's Birth Samhita is a huge compendium in which almost all topics will be found, starting from geology to I mean earthquake and various other rainfall and so on. So here we have a chapter wherein he speaks of the mixing of various things, and here we find these verses. Dvitrindriya ashtabhagaihi. So dvi, indriya is sense organ which is 5 in number, ashta is 8, bhagaihi. So the other half of this other quarter of the verse basically refers to the names of certain elements, okay. So which will be used for producing say fragrances. So agaru, patram, turushka, shaila, okay. So they are supposed to be taken in this kind of proportions. So then Vishayashta Paksha Dahanaha, Vishayashta Paksha Dahana. So Dahana is fire, so which is actually 3 because of Treta Agni, and these elements Priyangu, Musta, Rasa, Keshaha. In one quarter of the verse he basically gives the number, other quarter he lists the elements. So now in the set of 2 verses, so you have 8 quarters, half of them is number and half of them, so 16 elements have been listed out here, and that is why he is calling it as Shodashake Kachapute. So it is a sort of a magic square wherein 16 cells are there, Yatha Tatha Mishrite Chaturdravye. So Yatha Tatha Mishrite, as you want you can sort of mix them, so as you want in the sense, so this is a Chaturbhadra, so very interesting magic square which is pan diagonal. If you look at this, so 5, 8, 4 and 1 they sum to 18. So anyway you sum up, so you take up any of these 4, So you take this 4, you take this 4, you take this 4. So all of them will sum up to 18. That is why he is saying yatha tatha mishrite. So you can sort of. So the point he is trying to say is, so if this final magnitude has to be 18, so you try to mix up various things, various elements, so that the total measure is 18, and try to find out, so which kind of a thing comes out to be. I mean, it is in that sense, I mean, he is trying to present it. So kartavya sarvato bhadraha. So he says, and in fact Bhattotpala so goes on to comment on this. Yena kena prakarena chaturdravye mishrite ekikrite tasmad yatastato grihyamana ashtadasha bhagaha bhavanti ataha sarvato bhadra samnyaha. So he is trying to explain so this verse. So this is the translation which you can read at leisure. This magic square of Varahamihira, so when it is sort of added with another square like this, so you will get this. So in fact Narayana considers in great detail, so the elements is 1 to 16 and you fill this magic square, and this 1 to 16 when it is sort of filled up, so what are the various ways in which it can be done. So we will show a little later, as I was mentioning. So it is only 384. So the point I am trying to say is this Varahamihira's magic square, so added to this will give one of these 384 so possibilities of the 4 by 4 magic square, which has been discussed at great length, pan-diagonal magic square, which has been presented by Narayana. We also find the magic square in inscriptions. So for instance in this Jhansi district in the Jaina temple, you find this magic square, and this magic square is again one of the 384. So if you have a pan-diagonal magic square, it has to be one of the 384 which Narayana discusses at great length. So the first procedure which has been discussed to obtain magic square is one of the Turaga Gati. So Turaga Gati in Chaturanga. Chaturanga is a sort of chess kind of a game. So he says Chaturanga Turaga Gatya Dvaudvau Shredhi Samudbhava Vankau Nyasya Kramotkramena cha Koshtaikya Ekantarena cha Savyasavya Turangama Ritya Koshtan Prapuraye Dankaihi Samagarbhe Shodasha Griha Bhadre Prokto Vidhischayam. That is all. So this is these are the two verses 10 and 11 which actually present the way to construct a magic square by Turaga Gati. So this is what he has stated. And then he says Tiryakkoshthagatanam urdhvasthanancha karnaganancha ankanam sanyogaha prathangmito jayate tulyaha. So this basically explains that if you construct it this way, so then you will see that so this will be a pan-diagonal magic square. So how does it come out? Tiryakkoshthagata means, so suppose this is what is called Tiryak, you understand, horizontal thing is called Tiryak, okay, and the other thing is Urdhva. Urdhva is up, so vertical. So whether you sum the so cells horizontally or you sum the cells vertically, Urdhvasthanam, then Karnaganam. So he does not say the main diagonal, so all Karnas, okay. So whether it is pan diagonal, so that is how it turns out to be Karnaganam. If you just add it like this, so then also, so 9 plus 3 plus 14 plus 8, so or 1 plus 10 plus 16 plus 7, or if you do it this way 8 plus 9, 8 plus 2 plus 9 and then 15, so all of them will sum to 34. Okay, that is what he is saying. Ankanam sanyogaha prathangmitaha jayate tulyaha. Tulyaha means all of them will sum to the magic sum. So iha samagarbhanam anyesham udbhavaschatur. So now let us try to understand. So you closely try to follow this Turaga Gati. So you start with 1 in the left topmost, then Turaga Gati, where do you place 2? So you jump here, this will be 2, fine. This is a horse move, Turaga Gati. So read this verse carefully. Chaturanga Turaga Gatya, the word Dvaudvau has to be understood very carefully. you have 1 to 16, so 1 to 4 is one thing, and this 4 you split into 2, so 1 2 and then 3 4. So this Turagagati is applicable for pair of them. So in fact he uses the word Yugma Yugala kind of a thing, okay. So 1 2 is Turagagati, 3 4 will be Turagagati, but not 2 and 3, fine. So this will be true for every pair of 2's, okay. So of the 4, 2 will have Turagagati, the next 2 will have Turagagati, so that is how it is. So 1 2 3 and 4, fine. Then so very good. In fact that is how this 384 comes into. I will explain that, it is very simple, very interesting, okay. 1 2 3 and 4. Now let us start with 5, and then 5 you have to get 6, so get it this way, this is Turagagati, then 7 and 8. If you closely follow this, you will see that 1 2 3 and 4 has been done in a sort of Pradakshina way, okay. So it is a sort of krama in the sense you go in a sort of circular way. So you will see we have 5 6 7 and 8. Then you consider 4 more, next to 4. So you have to start with 9, so start with 9, so and then so you have to get Turagagati 10, 11 and 12. So this is again sort of clockwise, and then start 13, 13, 14, 15, 16, ho gaya. So this is how this Turagagati.
But that 9 could have been placed in the place of 12.
That is precisely why I am saying, otherwise you will not have this multiple choice if it is sort of fixed. That is why we have this 384. I will explain why this 384, it is pretty simple now. Once you have understood this, so pairs of them you have to split into 4, so this 4 has to be again taken as pairs, so pairs of them should have Turagagati, this is all, no more constraint on this, fine. So now, so I will answer this question now. So you start with Turagagati 2. So how many possible ways I can place in Turagagati 2? So having placed 1 here, so I can have only 4 ways. So look at this, so this is one way. The second is to place at this place, this is also Turagagati. Then the third possibility is you can go up and then go there, so that will be mapped here, fine. So it is a sort of torus. Other possibilities you move on this side, so you can go here and then you will reach here, this will be mapped there. So between 1 and 2 you have 4 possibilities, there are 4 ways in which 2 can be placed, given this you are placing the 1 at the topmost left cell. So having given this, so there is no constraint on where you place 3, that is why I said. So 3 4 has to be Turagagati, but where you place 3, I mean it is left to you. So now having placed 2 in this place, so here Narayana has hinted it, see, Koshtaikya Ekantarena cha. Aikya means 2 cells which are close by, or Ekantara is one difference. So the 2 cells can be close by in choosing 3. So suppose let us say we started with 2 here, now 3 can be placed here, here or here, there are 3 possibilities, fine. So with 1 there were 4 possibilities to place 2, having placed 2 there are 3 possibilities for placing 3, so 4 into 3 you get 12. So now having placed 3, so 4 anyway is fixed by Turagagati, after placing 4 now you have to place 5. So there is no constraint on where you place 5. So look at this, so suppose I have placed 3 here, so 5, so 2 is filling here and 5 is, so 5 can be placed either here or here. So there are 2 ways, so 4 into 3 into 2, there are 24 ways in which, so once these 4 things are fixed, so the rest of the square actually gets fixed. So there is no way that you can play around, and therefore see, for 1 with this topmost cell you have 24 possibilities, and 1 can move anywhere of the 16 cells, and therefore 16 into 24 you get 384 possibilities. So this actually has beautifully been explained by Narayana. So by drawing 24, and then he says, so 1 can go anywhere of the 16 cells, and therefore you have 384 possibilities. So right at the beginning, in fact he poses this as a question. So and you can see that the later part of the verse also, Savya Asavya Turangama Ritya. So Savya is left, Asavya is right, okay. So moving left and right kind of a thing. So Savya, so left and right in the sense, so having placed 2 here, you can place 3 here to the left, to the right and so on. So it is this kind of a thing, and even this Turagagati can be taken as Savya Asavya. So if you play around, we will be able to see all that, okay. In fact, the verse which actually poses this question is as follows: Ekad ekottarake shodasha grihakepi kati chaturbhadre bheda vada. Vada means may you tell me. So kati bhedaha, how many possibilities are there? So ekad ekottare means, so the first term is 1, ekottara common difference is 1. So you have this 1 to 16. So in Chaturbhadra, so in a 4 by 4 magic square, how many possibilities are there? So Ganite Ganakavara Astyatra Garvaste, if you feel that you are knowing enough mathematics, so may you tell me, so how many possibilities are there, okay. And then after discussing, he finally concludes, Evam Chaturbhadrasya Chaturbhihi Yamalaihi Chaturashityadhika Shatatraya Bhedaha Bhavanti. See, Chaturashiti is 84, Adhika is plus Shatatraya 300, so 384 possibilities are there. So this is how, in fact this has been proved by, so Rosser and Walker in 1938, and a much elegant proof has been provided by T. Vijayaraghavan. We will also discuss the properties which have been stated, and based on the properties you can also construct. See, based on the properties, if you want to construct this kind of a magic square, then you have to do addition subtraction quickly, mentally you can do that, these are all small numbers, you can do that. But if you do by Turagagati, you can sort of mechanically quickly place it and then play around with that. This is a very interesting tool to play around. So to construct odd squares, so this is a even square. In fact, once we have 4 by 4, so to construct 8 by 8, so to move on to the higher order of Samagarbha, so you can start with this 4 by 4 and then once again play around like this Turagagati, you will be able to get that. So we will consider one example little later. But here another interesting method has been stated, which has been discussed by Narayana himself. So here I will not get into this verses, but I will quickly explain, so how one gets this kind of magic squares. So odd square. So this is I think more popular, 3 by 3. So we can have only 8 possible squares. Maybe I will just work out one example. See, here you start with 1 and then the prescription is move up, okay, diagonally move up. If there is a cell to fill up, you fill. So otherwise it is a sort of torus, you move down. So where do I place 2? I place here, because there is no cell here, so there is no griha to occupy. So this is like a torus, you map it, so it comes here. Again you have to move diagonally up, so you have to move here. So since there is no cell here, it is like a torus, so you have to place it here. So since this cell is already occupied with 1, so what you have to do is you have to just move down, okay. So 4, you place 4 here, then diagonally keep filling, 4, 5, 6 ho gaya, fine. So at 6, so you have to move up here and this will be actually mapped to this point 4 here, so in a torus, but this is already occupied and therefore you have to place 7 below. So you go up, so this will be mapped to this 8 and then so you go up, so this will be mapped to this point 9. So this is how you get this magic square, and the same technique can be employed for any odd magic square. So maybe I will work out one example in the board so that it becomes more evident. So for instance, so let us take a 3 by 3. So I started with 1 here, so in the example which you find in the slide, so maybe we will start with 1 here. So you have to move up one step. So where will I place? So this will get folded here, so I have to place 2 here. So then, so I have to move up, so this will get mapped here, so 3. So here I have to go up this way and yeah, I will tell you there is a trick here. So here in fact Narayana's verse very clearly tells, so that is why I took this example. The prescription is the following, maybe I will just see if the verse is there, so that it becomes more or less like nail fixed on a green tree. See, so ishtasha prathame koshthe, asha here means direction. So I will come back to this example. So I will explain this couple of words here and how clearly Narayana prescribes. So prathame koshthe shredhyankam prathamam nyaset. So what I did was prathame koshthe shredhyankam prathamam. Shredi is basically arithmetic progression. It need not necessarily be this number, any arithmetic progression will do, but this is the simplest example. So prathame koshthe I have fixed it. Then what Narayana says is, so prathamam nyaset tat pratyasha. So prantya koshthe samipe. Pratyasha means in the opposite direction. Fine. So now look at here. So since I have hit it here, so this is the direction in which I started. So in fact asha is direction. So in this example which I have shown in the slide, so I started with this, so and then we moved on. So this was, so I placed 2 here, so I placed 3 here. So when this was occupied, so what I did was I placed 4 here, you understand. So I started in this direction and therefore I had to move in the opposite direction, pratyasha. So here I started in this direction and therefore I have to, when I hit here, so I have to place it here, you understand. So then 4, 5, 6, so you go here 7 here, so this place actually maps to this place, so it is a sort of torus which is filled. So and then I have to place 7 here because it is the pratyasha direction. So 7, so you go here, so this gets mapped 8 and you go here, this gets mapped here 9. So the same technique is applicable to this higher order also. So you can perhaps take one more example. So look at this, so where we have a 5 by 5 odd square here as an example. So we can see this, you can see the diagram. So we start with 1 and then we move up here, so this gets mapped to this point, so you move diagonally up, you have 3 here, so from 3 I have to go here, so torus it gets mapped here, then you go 5, so and then so you hit with some other number which is already filled, and since you have started in this direction, so you have to move down. If you were to start in this direction, you have to move left. So if you start with this direction, you have to move up. So that is the thing. So here you move down 6 and then 7 and then 8 and then you move up here. So this actually gets mapped here 9, so it is a sort of torus, and then you move up here, so this gets mapped 10 and then so this is already filled, so you move down 11 and the whole thing gets filled. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and then so at 15, so you have to move up here. So this will actually get mapped here, right, so which is already filled. So and therefore you move down, starts with 16, so you move up, so this is 17 and then you move up, you get 18, 19, 20, so this is already filled, you move down 21, so and then 22, so 23 gets mapped and then 24 and you move up, this gets mapped 25, ho gaya. So this is all filled. So this is the technique by which one can, this is a ancient sort of technique. In fact Narayana discusses this at a much later stage. In fact he presents his own new algorithm, so by which one can construct not necessarily using this number. So these actually start with 1 and then the common difference is 1, you use this element and the sum is fixed. Of course there is a lot of fun even in doing this, but yeah, Narayana actually presents so algorithm by which you can construct whatever number you want by a certain standard procedure by constructing appropriate arithmetic series. So that is why he already says start with Adya and then you have to find out Chaya, Adya and Chaya. So A and D you have to find out, then you can construct the magic square. In fact, the
Actually, therefore only to the north and south direction.
no. Why? In fact, Asha refers to direction.
But in the example,
In fact, if some of you know Vishnu Sahasranama, one of these shlokas there we have this reference of Asha, one of these dhyana shlokas, Karna Vasha Shirodyauhu Mukhamapi Dahanaha. So that's where this word Asha. Asha refers to direction. So here Asha is Ishtasha, means you can choose east, west, north, south, whatever you want. Ishta direction you choose. Then you have to sort of move to Pratyasha. Huh?
Pratyasha will never go Taurus.
Why not? See, you start with 1, so you go there, you do not have a cell, you come here, Pratyasha, opposite. You move down. You start in this direction, you move down.
That is there. But if
That is all.
If it is not there, if we have to move down,
No, down is basically you start with that direction. Yeah. So it is in that sense. I mean, they only give a sort of sutra, so from which we have to understand. So how more? It is almost see, if you want to explain everything in words, it is almost impossible. So one has to guess. And so more or less, I mean, but the thing is, it is not like Aryabhatiya, which is very terse. So Narayana Pandita makes it as simple as possible. In fact, later mathematics works. So as you might have seen, even Brahmasputa Siddhanta makes it much more elegant with various examples. Aryabhata does not do all that. So Narayana Pandita does it. In fact, much more. In fact, this seems to be the most voluminous work that we have on mathematics. So composed around, and lot of improvised techniques have been provided in almost every topic that he has discussed. Okay. In fact, right at the beginning, he also gives certain verses which actually present Sapadah Padavargordham Rupadi Chayena Bhavati Sankalitam Tat Padamulena Hritam Phalam Bhaved Ishta Bhadre Vai. So here, so he basically says what the magic sum will be. The word Padam so has to be understood as Gacha. See, number of terms. So number of elements which go in filling the square. That is what is called Padam. See, sometimes they use the word Pada, sometimes they use the word Gacha to refer to the number of terms in the arithmetic sequence. So in this case, so Padavarga refers to n square and Ardham is half of that. Sapadaha means along with Pada. So basically he says n square plus n divided by 2. So you can easily see that basically what you have is an arithmetic sequence. So series, and that is what it is. So he is just saying that sum. So and Rupadi Chayena so Bhavati Sankalitam Tat Padamulena Hritam Phalam. So Phalam basically refers to the magic sum. Okay. So that is what it is. And in fact there is another verse, I do not know if I have quoted the verse, I have not quoted, but I will just tell you. So in the very next verse after this Sapadam, so Narayana gives how to find A and D. If you recall, right at the beginning of the chapter, so Narayana said, so in dealing with magic squares, all that you have to do is, see, Sadhyau Tesham Mukha Prachayau. Mukha refers to A, arithmetic sequence, and Prachaya refers to D. So the problem is basically given sum, you have to find out A and D. So Narayana actually gives a verse by which the equation which has to be employed in order to get A and D has been clearly stated, and we will just present this equation now and not the verse. So given the magic sum S and the order of the magic square n, the first thing that is to be done is to construct a magic construct the magic square is to obtain the Shredhi. Shredhi is basically defined by A and D, right. So to obtain AD, so basically n square elements have to be constructed. So Narayana makes use of this Kuttakara. In fact, he uses the word Kuttaka also. So see, in this equation 1, S is the sum. So by sum we mean either diagonal, pan-diagonal, vertical, horizontal, that is the magic sum. So what will be the sum of the all elements? So n times S, so that is the left hand side, fine. And in the right hand side, so if you see that, so A is the first term and this is the last term, so first plus last by half, so that gives the mean, and this has to be multiplied by n square because there are n square terms here, right. So this is the equation which he has in his mind. So all that he gives is this formula. So therefore we get S as NA n by 2 into n square minus 1 into D. So, n is known, what is not, sum is also known, that is given to you. The point is you give a sum and then you say, so what should be the dimension of the magic square, 5 by 5, 4 by 4, 3 by 3, whatever. So, S and N are given and you have to find out appropriate A and D. So, this is the problem. So, you have basically one equation and you have two unknowns, therefore, it is a Kottaka problem, fine. So, A and D have to be determined. So, if you look at this equation, we have repeatedly said while we discuss this Kottaka problem that this will have a solution only when, so this if there is a factor, okay. So, if there is a factor, the GCD of n and n by 2 into n minus 1, so that should be divisible. So, otherwise this will have no solution, okay. So, this condition we have to just understand, and anyway the point is, so you will be able to get several such possibilities. In fact, right at the beginning of the chapter Narayana says, so if you have one solution then you have infinite number of solutions, and therefore given S and N, so if you are able to get one, then you will be able to get infinite number of magic squares in fact for that. So, that is the kind of implication of understanding this. So, how many such magic squares can be constructed? The way Narayana has given, he proceeded a certain way of this algorithm, using this algorithm. So, you will be able to construct infinite number, right. So, that is the point I wanted to convey through this.
Infinite number, provided the sum can be multiples of S.
Huh? You can get any number, right?
Or given S.
No. The point is, see,
Because
so you can also have fractions. You can also have fractions. That is also possible. Yeah. So nothing prevents us. So now, so I will very quickly touch upon these three properties. Maybe we will take it up once more in the next lecture and then see how we can construct magic squares using these properties. All are possible, all are possible. In fact, so you can do with negative, maybe we will see one or two examples. Yeah, so in fact Narayana's text itself, so if we see that as his manuscripts, so present some examples wherein some of the elements are negative. So the element which is negative will be denoted by a small dot above. So that is the kind of thing. So in the construction which we find, so which has been a sort of transcript of what is there in the manuscript. So when they try to reproduce in printed version of the text, so they have, see, suppose you this number is negative, so they will put a small dot above this number which actually means negative, okay. So this is also possible. So you can have negative, you can have fractions, all that you can have, okay. So the property one is, given a 4 by 4 magic square and the entries are 1 to 16, which are sort of mapped into a torus, which we are trying to explain by identifying the opposite edges. So this maps to this maps to this, and so on. Then the entries of any 2 by 2 subsquare, see, any 2 by 2 subsquare. So how many such subsquares can be had now? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then center 9, that is all. You can map this torus also, this 1 and 14 and then 11 and 8. So totally you will have 15, okay. So any of these subsquares, so will also add up to 34. So this is one interesting observation which one has to make, fine. That is a kind of a torus, I would say, okay. So there are, this is the first property. The first property is, so any of the subsquares, so 2 by 2 of consecutive rows and columns, okay. So not this and this. So that is why when I said, so you have to just group this way, and then so this 5 11 and 4 14, so they will sort of get mapped. So that is a kind of torus. So that way you can have 15 possibilities. So this is how it is, so you have the sum 34. This is first property. The second property is 4 by 4 pan-diagonal magic square. So, if you look at the sum of diagonal elements with one cell left in between. So, in other words, alternate diagonal elements. So, you look at this 7 plus 10 is 17, you look at 4 plus 13 is 17, you look at 12 plus 5 is 17. So, you 6 plus 11 is 17. So, you have anything so of this nature. So, if you go here, so it will sort of get mapped to 4 here. So, this will be 17. So, all that is, see if you look at here, you have to go here. So, this will get mapped here. So, 4 plus 13 is 17. So, this alternate elements across the diagonal, so they will sum up to S by 2. So, this is next property. I think I will stop here. So, we will continue in our next lecture. Thank you.
And which is downstairs in the not HCI.